There we go.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the 2020 Palace of Pistons NBA Draft Lottery live stream. The NBA Draft Lottery finally here. Was supposed to be here way back in it's usually in May, right?
Yeah.
Well, This is obviously a different time with COVID-19 stopping the NBA season, and we're here now. First off, it's myself, Aaron Johnson, here with you. Joining me right now is Tim Forkin and Zariq Turner. Guys, first off, just want to get your thoughts on this lottery for the Pistons. We asked people to send in their predictions earlier today about where they think the Pistons are going to end up in the lottery. Just want to get your guys' thoughts on what you think and where the Pistons are going to be.
Well, personally, I'm not feeling – I'm – okay. Naturally, I'm going to go the realistic route. But due to the fact that I may have a mental breakdown if we land the 7th pick, I'm going to say we're going to land anywhere from 2 to 4.
I'm in the camp that good things happen to those who wait, and I think the Pistons have been waiting for a long enough time. I'm optimistic tonight. I've been tweeting every possible prediction, so I'm going to be right on one of them. Why not us, man? Top 3 Pistons. I'm going to say Pistons get the 2nd pick tonight. It's going to be down to the brink, and we're going to get the 2nd pick, and people are still going to be mad about it.
I'd be so hyped. I'd be so hyped. I'd freak out right now if we got the 2nd pick.
Yeah, I look at what the Pistons have done historically in the lottery. I look at really what Detroit teams have done in general throughout history in the NBA draft or in any sport league draft. And they just never really do too hot, especially when it comes to moving up. The Pistons are one of those teams that has never moved up in the NBA draft lottery. And, they're going into this with a 10.5% chance of taking over the first overall pick, which would obviously be huge. And I'll pull up the draft odds here so you can see where Detroit stands in terms of percentage-wise, what their odds are. I don't know. I'd love to be optimistic and say, hey, Detroit's going to get the second overall pick, but it's really a thing of chance. And when it comes to believing in the Pistons and just kind of that like theoretical of conspiracy theory, where does someone end up? Does a league want someone to get higher or get lower? I don't think it really benefits the Pistons either way. So I'm going to say that they're probably going to stay around, that 6-7 spot. And I know they're technically slotted with the 5th best odds, but they have a 2.2% chance of getting the 5th pick. So, I'm kind of concerned that they're going to end up with the 6th or 7th spot.
Here's a question for you. With our predictions, I had 2nd. Aaron, you said 6 or 7. Who do you think they're going to draft at your spot? It all depends on who's available, but who do you think would be available realistically? Who do you think is going to draft? And also for those watching the lottery itself, I'm not sure why Steph Curry has cornrows right now, but yeah. Who do you think? Who are they going to draft at your spot?
I think there's so many options, which is it's unique about this draft. I think there's a lot of options that they can go with. I think Killian Hayes, in my opinion, Killian Hayes is the number 1 player in this draft. But I also don't feel that everyone feels the same way in regards to that. I think a lot of people feel LaMelo Ball is. I think a lot of people feel Anthony Edwards is. And I think some people have Killian Hayes ranked around 9-10 on their draft boards and in mock drafts. I would take him 1 overall because I'm just that confident in him. And I think if the Pistons end up at 6 or 7, there's still a chance that he is there. But outside of that, I know the Pistons want to go with the best player available, but they definitely need a guard, need a big with Blake Griffin and likely Christian Wood and Saquon Boyle, who plays 3-4. They really need a guard. And so then you got to look at, do they go with Tyrese Halliburton? Do they go with a forward in Denny Advia who can handle the ball a little bit more? There's a lot of different options that they can go with. But for me, I think if they get 1, I would take Killian Hayes. And if Killian Hayes is still on the board at 6 or 7, which a lot of mock drafts are showing there's potential for that to be, I would take him there as well.
I feel like this draft is like it's the one draft where like there's not like a clear number one. So for that reason, I think the Pistons are going to land in the top of the draft just because like there's no clear number one pick. It's like it's when you least want it. Like I was thinking like because like the bubble playoffs, the Magic beat the Bucks game one, and the Blazers beat the Lakers game one. So I was like, I feel like we were in the playoffs the wrong year and we tanked the wrong year. Because like if we move up this lottery and we land like one or two, and we get like I don't know whoever, right? If we had done that last year, we would end up with Zion or Ja, you know.
Hmm. There's no generational talent. Like as high as I am on LaMelo, and he could be amazing. There's no Zion. There's no Ja. There's no Luca. There's no Trey. There's no. I wouldn't even say there's someone to the caliber of DeAndre Ayton in this draft, and that's how I see things. But I'm sure all of us would like us to land on someone who shocks the world. Like think about how many players in the NBA that are stars, like Kawhi, Giannis. They weren't top 5 picks, so I don't think the Pistons can go wrong with where they're selecting.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to come down to Troy Weaver and who they're selecting. But obviously, for tonight, we're in for the fun of it. We're in it because we're Pistons fans and we like to cry, and we'll just we'll roll with the punches here.
Yeah, no, I think Zariq was kind of taking me towards an interesting question in what he was saying. Do you guys? I think I kind of already got your answers, but do you guys think that there's a player in this draft that could help lead the Pistons, or not even lead, but play a big impact on the Pistons potentially reaching the playoffs next year? Is there a player good enough up top?
For me, it's LaMelo. I feel
Yeah,
like
LaMelo.
he has the most upside. Like he's a 6'8" point guard with like so much natural ability. All it takes for him, he's on the TV right now. All it takes for him is the want, you know, like the desire. I feel like with like Casey and being around Derrick Rose and whatnot, I feel like he'll be on the right system. And seeing him alongside like Blake and Christian Wood, I really want to see that. I feel like that's a recipe for success.
Yeah. LaMelo's got the most upside. I think that's pretty common knowledge, but I don't know that he can get there right away, and I don't know if it's a guarantee that he gets there. Like I think with Ja and Zion, it was pretty apparent that they were going to be high level. With LaMelo, he could be really good or really bad. He could fizzle out, or he could be the face of the franchise. And to get him is to play that game. And the last thing the Pistons needed to mess up this pick. So that's risky. LaMelo's a risky one for me, but I'm an optimist, and I choose to believe he's going to do it for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I don't really think there's a player in this draft that makes the Pistons a playoff contender or a guy that can really lead the Pistons. I don't really see a guy like Zion or Ja that right off the bat is going to come in and be such a valuable NBA player. I think LaMelo is going to have to learn the NBA game a lot more than a guy like Ja did or a guy like Zion did. And the same thing goes for, a guy that I really like Killian Hayes. All these guys I think have a lot more of a learning curve ahead of them. And I just think when you look at even you look at Trae Young, who was phenomenal with the Hawks in his first 2 seasons. It didn't translate to winning, and not that the Hawks have as good of players around as the Pistons do, even though right now the Pistons roster is not very, very good. I just don't see there being a player talented enough to really change the landscape of the team and where the team is headed. I think, everyone was expecting Memphis to be bad this season, and they got big-time improvement out of Jaren Jackson, and John Morant stepped in and was obviously phenomenal. They got a guy like Jonas Valanciunas, who was just absolutely incredibly productive for them. And Zar, if you want to check the chat, you're getting a lot of love, right?
Oh yeah, I'm seeing that. What up, Joe? What up, Lexi? Shout out to S. I don't know who S is.
But they seem to have a lot more pieces than I feel like the Pistons really do. I think Blake Griffin is such a wild card with his health. I don't think Sekou is capable next year of making that same step that Jaren Jackson made. I mean, Jaren Jackson was having 30-point games and just absolutely monster performances. I don't think Sekou is unfortunately to be able to make next year. And then they had a lot of good role players. Dylan Brooks, a guy that played big minutes for them and produced for them a lot. Kyle Anderson along those same lines. With the Pistons, you still got to figure out your Christian Wood situation and if he's going to be in Detroit long term. You have to worry about Blake Griffin's health, and unfortunately, the same thing goes for Luke Kennard's health. And I think that's another interesting topic. Before the lottery starts here, Anthony Edwards, the number one player on a lot of people's draft boards, is a shooting guard. And let's say the Pistons get the first overall pick. Does having Luke Kennard stop you from taking Anthony Edwards?
No.
No. I think,
but that's only if LaMelo's gone. Like I'm gonna go back to LaMelo here. Like Anthony Edwards, I'm actually kind of iffy on drafting a shooting guard number one overall. Like if you look around the league, how many shooting guards are there that are worth that number one, number two pick that you see on teams? Like Eric Gordon is a star for the Rockets. He was in the last game, but players like that, there's not that many good shooting guards. I don't think it's a very valuable position. So I'm reluctant to take Edwards 1 or 2. I would go to a guard there. I don't know if Edwards is the next guy out.
Real quick, shout out to Miggy in the chat. Also, shout out to Jake. What's up, guys?
Jake Rogers.
I like Jake's comment that I have pinned on the screen right here. Jacob, you're doing a great job. Keep it up. Appreciate you being here. Let me know if you want to get in on this call. You're certainly welcome. But I really like that comment. I think that's a good one. So yeah, you guys got any good comments? We'll definitely make sure to pin them up here as we see them. But yeah, we're minutes away from the lottery starting. They say it's supposed to start at 8:30. Obviously, it doesn't start at 8:30. But the Pistons, I guess we can talk about them for a minute and their season. Obviously the season was ended early for them, and they weren't eligible for the Orlando bubble. They finished 20-46, 13th in the Eastern Conference. Not the season that many expected for Detroit. And if you're the Pistons, are you drafting for need here, or are you drafting best player available regardless of position?
I think you're drafting best player easily. I don't think we're in a place to draft for need at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be reluctant to draft like an Obi Toppin or a Wiseman. I think you'd want like a 1 through 3, but if it gets to that point, the Pistons don't get a top pick like we want them to, and there's a good like forward or big up there, I don't think there's a problem. I don't think that Christian Wood coming back is a guarantee. I don't think that Blake being healthy is a guarantee. So yeah, best player available, but I'm reluctant for forward still. I think it's got to be a guard.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think the Pistons should be going guard, as I've already spoken to a little bit, and I think there's a fair amount of guards near the top that you can maybe pass on a guy like Onyeka, or I don't even know how to say his name, Okonkwo from USC, or James Wiseman, who I am totally terrified of. For the Pistons to get rid of Andre Drummond, to draft a guy like James Wiseman, who is very in line with that kind of profile of a player, as that same kind of profile of a player that Drummond is, that definitely concerns me. So I definitely would want to shy away from him. But, I think when you look at the names that are going to be available when Detroit is picking, there's enough guards that there should be one available for Detroit, even if it's not LaMelo, even if it's not Killian, as we get set for the lottery that's about to begin right here. I'll list off the teams that are announced as they go. And 14th is the Boston Celtics. Detroit, the lowest that they can go in the lottery is 9. So that's when we'll have to start worrying about them. They have a 0.06% chance of getting 9, as the Pelicans get the 13th pick. But This is certainly a big night for the Detroit Pistons, as it could play a big role in their future.
I was kind of expecting the Kings to move up.
The Kings stay locked in at 12. That's where they were slated to go before.
Man, I'm stressing, dude.
Getting close. San Antonio at 11.
I'm freaking out. I'm not gonna look at the
Just
chat.
get us past 9, man. Get us past 9.
If we get 9
to 10.
If we get 9, just cut it off, dude.
Yeah, if Detroit gets 9, it might be over. Oh man. Whew. The Washington Wizards will pick 9th.
Jeez.
All right.
We're flying through this here.
This is the
Alrighty.
The 8th pick will be the New York Knicks. Oh my goodness.
Let's go.
Somebody's moving up.
That means Charlotte, I believe, is locked in for a top 4 pick.
Oh no.
And Chicago is.
Oh no.
I think 7 is going to be the Detroit Pistons are going to draft 7. Wow.
Man.
So the Pistons will draft 7th. And there's Ryan Pay. Ryan, if you can hear me, definitely unmute your mic. Get your thoughts here.
How you doing, fellas?
Okay.
Bad, dude. I'm not doing well.
Wow.
Come on.
That is very, very unfortunate. The Hawks will pick 6th, Cleveland 5th. Guys.
100% knew that was about to happen. I didn't join.
Wow.
I've been around on this chat for like 10 minutes now. I was just enjoying listening to you guys talk. You guys were so overly optimistic. You're such young bucks. Man, I can't believe it. That you thought it could be any better than pick 7. That is the least surprising thing that's happened all year.
Man. I don't know. A certain member of Palace of Pistons was parading in the group chat about 15 minutes before this started that Detroit was going to get a top 3 pick. I knew he was going to be wrong. I didn't, but like I said before, before the picks, were announced, I said, I really feel this is going to end up being a 6 or 7 for Detroit. That's just kind of how it goes with this city in terms of, draft lottery luck. So I'm really not all that shocked. Disappointed, sure, but not all that shocked.
I was saying anything but 7. And yeah.
I mean, 7 is where they had the highest odds. And it was by a pretty good margin, but I was trying to figure out every way they could have had it. Oh, they got a 40% chance to be top 4. Oh, but they got a 26% chance. So I was just trying to figure out the ways to shift things around in my head to make them be in that top 4. But
I thought when we saw the Knicks at 8, I thought that was going to help Detroit, but I thought that gave them that opportunity to jump, but it helped Chicago, it helped Charlotte, did not help Detroit. So doesn't look like LaMelo Ball is going to be a Detroit Piston, something that's been talked about for months around the fan base. The city of Detroit is getting LaMelo Ball in a Piston uniform. We've
sign and trade Christian Wood. Sign and trade Christian Wood.
Yeah, right. Right. That's definitely going to do it for whoever drafts 1 or 2, whatever he goes. Definitely not beyond that, you wouldn't imagine. But after all that, heated discussion of LaMelo's got to be a Piston. LaMelo has got to be a Piston. There's not even going to be a chance for him to now on draft night, which now is talking about being moved by the NBA once again.
Yeah.
LaMelo Ball, welcome to the Charlotte Hornets.
I can't believe the Charlotte Hornets are moving up in the draft, and we got the 7th pick.
The Charlotte Hornets of all,
and if the Bulls get LaMelo Ball, I'm done. I'm done because I was making fun of Bulls fans on Twitter so much for thinking they were going to get a top 3 pick, and
they're top 4 locked in now.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh man. It's just funny,
man.
fellas. It's just funny. I can't even help but laugh at this point.
Yeah.
Well,
I
Aaron,
know
thanks for
Aaron's
the introduction,
dying
but what's
inside.
up, fellas?
He's trying to play cool, but he's dying inside.
Oh, I'm already dead inside. The minute I saw that, even Troy Weaver was upset about it. He had no reaction.
Yeah, I
Welcome
know.
to Detroit, Troy. Welcome. You're not in OKC no more. You're not going to get that luck.
Hey, who's excited for Isaac Okoro though?
Oh my God, I'm done.
Hey, this is prime. This is a prime Killian Hayes pick. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's room here. Aaron might get his wish. Last year, Aaron didn't get to kill Alexander Walker. Maybe the luck plays in his favor.
I
Killian
didn't
Hayes
get Cam
falls to 7.
Johnson. I didn't get Cam Johnson, and that guy, hell of a season. He's gonna help Phoenix so much. But that was my guy last year. I did like Nikhil as well.
Let me see what hell of a season looks like. Hold on.
Okay. You know what? Let's look at the bubble numbers. You know, you got to look at beyond stats. That guy, Cam Johnson, is a 6'8" marksman from beyond the arc that can hold his own defensively. Look, I hope Sekou, I based that off the premises that a guy like Sekou wasn't going to be available. So certainly, when you get a chance to take the youngest player in the draft who's considered high upside, you obviously do that. But Cam Johnson was definitely my guy last year. Let's bring up these odds one more time. Detroit ends up with a 7th overall pick. That's where they had the highest percentage to go at. 26.74% is what their chance was to land the 7th pick, and that's what they got. But there's still 4 teams left. Charlotte, Chicago, Minnesota, and Golden State. Of course, Golden State still up there. So we'll see here where the number 4 spot falls, and that is to the Chicago Bulls. So that leaves 3 teams left: Charlotte, Minnesota, and Golden State.
I wonder why they want Charlotte in the top 3.
Well, Charlotte will get the 3rd pick, and Golden State's probably going to land the number 1 here, I'd imagine. Oh, no. Golden State at 2, and Minnesota will have the number 1 pick in the 2020 NBA draft. That is interesting. They have D'Angelo Russell, and they have Malik Beasley, and you're imagining that they're going to take a guard. What does that mean for a team like Minnesota? That's interesting.
Means they're going to trade it for Devin Booker.
Ooh, I don't think Phoenix would never let Devin Booker go right now. So no surprises there. Pistons at 7. That's where they're going to be on draft night. Well, 7th overall pick. You guys have any predictions, any thoughts on who you hope it's going to be?
You know what? Let's just go ahead, draft Obi Toppin, and let me stop being a Pistons fan. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, let's take Obi Toppin or someone like that. Someone that helps us get closer to drafting Cade Cunningham or Amani Bates in the next 2 years. So let's draft the player. Let's draft the player that isn't who we really need, because that gets us closer to Cade Cunningham or Amani or someone like that.
Aaron, I'm right there with you. You know I like Killian Hayes. I think there's an opportunity for him to fall there. Will he? I don't know, but that's what I'm hoping for at this point.
Brendan, you texted me asking you to welcome you in like this is, you're some celebrity joining the stream. I guess, hello, welcome. Thanks for joining us late as always. Who do you think the Pistons are going to end up with at 7?
Hey, Aaron's just not used to the hosting duties. We all understand. But, Ryan, I think you're right with Killian Hayes. I know it was mentioned earlier it's a prime opportunity to possibly get him. I'm still a big Denny Avdia guy, right? He was talked about by us a while ago on the podcast. I don't know where he ends up falling in this draft, but I still think there's an opportunity to go that route as well. Interesting for Detroit. Obviously, a little frustrating to see them fall to 7. We knew that, the chances being a little bit higher at 7 rather than 6, or I think even 5. So, a little unfortunate to see him fall there. But I guess all you can do is make the most of it. Welcome to Detroit, Troy Weaver.
Yeah, he did not get any luck, unfortunately. But that's the city of Detroit. Welcome. No surprises there. Look, you guys, if you've been listening to the Palace of Pistons podcast, and obviously, it hasn't been out recently, but we're going to be having an episode here shortly. But from back when the Pistons were sucking and we already started thinking about the draft, that my mind was on Killian Hayes and Denny Avdia. I think if both those guys were off the board, then I think that I'm going to look at a Tyrese Halliburton. I think, if the Pistons are going to take a guard, Halliburton is probably their next best bet after Hayes and after LaMelo Ball. If they want to go with a wing, I do like Devin Vassell out of Florida State. Good size, a good defender. He's that 3-and-D kind of prospect. But, this is this is reality. I think it was what was expected. You hope for it not to be, but you always knew you were going to end up here.
Yeah, this is kind of the pick where either you hit and it goes really well, or you just kind of continue in that stage of mediocrity. That 7th pick is right on that tier of you get somebody who pans out to be real good, or you get a Stanley Johnson-like pick that you have high hopes for, and it doesn't turn out to be very good. So, this is definitely not an uplifting night in terms of seeing our pick, but I guess all you can do is to make the most of it.
Yeah, so I think that's really gonna wrap up what we have to talk about here. The Pistons are gonna pick 7th in the 2020 NBA draft. They do not get that jump into the top 4, top 5 that we were hoping for, but they'll be at 7. That means no LaMelo Ball. It means no Anthony Edwards, and who knows beyond that in what is a questionable draft that no one really knows where it's headed outside of those 2 main guys in Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball.
Yep.
At least we're not the Knicks.
Shout out to Miggy, Lexi, and Andrea in the chat. Thanks for the support. I'm going to go cry. So I hope this was a good stream.
Zar, you take care, man. I'm here for you. I think we're all here for each other. This is a support group now.
Shout out to them, by the way. Probably going through it right now.
All right, well, everyone, that's going to wrap up this stream here tonight. Obviously, thank you to Tim, Zar, Brendan, and Ryan for joining myself, Aaron, here on the stream. The Pistons with the 7th pick in the 2020 NBA draft will certainly have content on that coming out here in the coming weeks on PalaceOfPistons.com and the Palace of Pistons YouTube page. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, definitely take the opportunity to now since you're already here. And yeah, that's going to do it for us, guys. We'll see you, and thanks for watching here on Palace of Pistons.